Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Rotoworld Football Show, Monday, February 9th. I'm Patrick Daugherty, joined by Denny Carter, rejoined by Kyle Dvorchak, who got a week off to reset and refresh. Looking great, feeling great, Kyle. All three of us are actually on a private jet to Milan, Italy right now. We're on the same jet as Tarico, Maria Taylor. We're being sent to host Olympics coverage.
That's right.
All hands on deck here at NBC. No, we're home. We have survived the Super Bowl. Not to imply we went to the game. We didn't go to the game. We only went to Radio Row. Frankly, thankful to only go to Radio Row. 8 days would have been a very long trip.
It would have.
We're here to talk about the sights and sounds, though, of San Francisco. Sights and sounds of Super Bowl 60, which, listen, nobody gave the Patriots a chance. And, yeah, I got to hand it to nobody.
Yeah.
They could not have been more right. We're going to break down Super Bowl 60 from every angle. Denny, amongst the people to not give the New England Patriots any chance whatsoever in this game. So first off, I ate breakfast every morning about 8:30 in San Francisco. You would think my colleague would join me, Denny Carter.
One would think wrong.
He wakes up at 5:30 every morning. Did you even have like a real breakfast? What did you even do?
No. I was so stressed out by the breakfast situation that I just went to the little convenience store. I got a yogurt and a coffee. Coffee was horrible. And went back to my room and I did some work. Ever heard of it, by the way?
I have. Have I ever? So having breakfast around 8:30 every morning with several other NBC employees, none of them named Denny Carter.
That's right.
And we had the same waiter every single day. And the waiter was like leading the chorus of giving the New England Patriots zero chance to win this game. And it was eventually revealed they had $1,500 total dollars on the Seattle Seahawks. California is not a betting legal state, so I'm not necessarily sure I was doing this. I'm sure there's plenty of ways for him to do it. But I think the final day, he revealed to me that he had bet every alt line for the Seahawks up to 13.5 points.
That's wild.
And I was like subtly kind of trying to talk him out of it. I don't know, man. Like, I think it's gonna be close.
Can you get your full value if you cash out right now? That's maybe an option.
It's like, I think it's going to be a defensive struggle, like kind of a rock fight. Like maybe there's a late defensive touchdown. They'll cover 13.5. I'm not expecting. And the waiter had by far the best analysis of the game I had heard all week.
And that's why the waiter is actually replacing Pat.
It's a real shame, but it's a real shame.
We have no choice.
Little did I know, NBC executives were observing the entire breakfast.
Everything was recorded. It actually played for me, and I said, "Get the waiter on. Get him on."
Speaking of everything is recorded, Waymos. All three members of this podcast have now ridden in a Waymo. Kyle's going to share his story in a second. Denny and I shared a Waymo, and Denny, it went flawlessly, right?
Just a vision of the perfect techno future, really.
Not at all a vision of Kafka-esque bureaucratic nightmare, almost literal red tape bogging our robot car down.
We could go on. Let's just give the Cliff's notes. It took us about 20 minutes to hail one. It's unclear if that was the car's fault or our fault.
It was a little bit about the first car ditched us when I couldn't find it in 2 minutes.
It just drove away.
And it charged me $5.
Yeah.
On my corporate card. Hey, you got to approve that charge, DJ. It's not my fault. You got to approve that charge.
No, I was there. I saw it. We finally get into one. It's the worst traffic in the history of San Francisco because they have roads shut down because of the Super Bowl and this and that. There's a concert going on at some point. And the robot car doesn't really know how to operate in city traffic, right? In city driving, because as you may know, in city driving, you have to sometimes break the rules of the road in order to go forward, Well, our robot said, I'm not doing it. I ain't doing it. Like, you can't.
Your poor robot's trying to merge, and he doesn't have the obvious right of way, and he's like, "I'll just wait for someone to let me in."
That's right.
So, Denny, can I explain the exact circumstances that led to our robot car total malfunction? Very busy 4-way intersection with lights, but we need to turn left, and there's no left turn light or left turn lane. So we're just in the one lane attempting to turn left. There are no left turn lights, so the cars, coming at us, are just blasting off instantly. Like they're not going to let the robot car turn left. And two, you can tell San Francisco drivers were very familiar with how to take advantage of the robot drivers, by the way. Like, oh man, this is an easy cutoff. Easiest cutoff of my whole life right here, cutting off this Waymo. And so we went through 3 or 4 revolutions of this light cycle. There's someone behind us. I'm assuming this driver knew we were in a robot car, like losing his actual mind. Like at one point, like blared on the horn for like 30 straight seconds. Denny and I both turn around like, what do you want me to like? What do you want me to do?
Truly, this guy was losing his mind.
He eventually almost caused a massive accident, but he didn't. He actually got to turn. So
yep. So after all that, we bailed. We bailed because we had to get out. We had to go to dinner.
We initiated the pullover option. By the way, we didn't just get out of the car.
You can't get out of the car. You have to like negotiate with it to open the doors. And then so I didn't even tell you this, Pat. I get back to my hotel room that night and I turn on the news, as one does. And
never turned on my TV once the whole time I was gone.
Yeah, well, I'm a TV bro, I guess. And I turn on the news, and the first thing I see is the Waymo CEO testifying before a Senate committee.
Yes.
And the
about
Waymo
the
CEO,
car you were in, still being
probably honestly the exact car we were in. Where was our independent contractor taking over this car is what I'd like to know.
And this Waymo CEO was in hot water, and he may have accidentally admitted that someone overseas controls the cars. And I was like, of course
they can take them over. They're not controlling them.
I don't know.
In fairness to Waymo.
It was. I saw the highlights of that hearing, and I said, that's not good. I'm not getting back on those things.
I don't have much of a Waymo story, but I was in Phoenix, where I don't know if Waymo started there, or that was one of their first like testing grounds.
Phoenix doesn't have real roads. It's just giant boulevards. They're like international jumbo jet landing strips. That's how wide
they are.
The roads are in Phoenix.
But so I was seeing them for the first time, and I was just going to ask you guys, how many? And the answer for me is never. The answer is there is no. I haven't found the limit yet. How many times did you see Waymos and your jaw dropped? Like, what was the point at which your jaw didn't drop to see a driverless car? Because I probably saw like 30 or so while I was walking around the city, and the 30th was still just as shocking as the first.
It's very shocking, and very shocking to watch. Like the wheel, I feel like the wheel tries to show off. Like the wheels like way more dramatic than he. I try to be. I'm one of those guys. It's like an ego thing. Like I try to do as subtle of wheel movements as possible. This isn't even hard for me. I very subtly turn the Waymo's like hitting the wheel.
Yeah. They like to do that. I don't know.
The Waymo's whipping it. That's what the kids.
Over 5 days, I get somewhat used to it. I will say that our colleague Lawrence Jackson made me laugh pretty hard late in the trip when he called one of the Waymos the Ghostbusters car.
Waymo car, like you can't look like that. All right. People were laughing at us.
They were laughing. I'm not kidding.
Literally
laughing at us in the car, and I was saying, "Please stop laughing."
Just came up to the car and was like laughing hysterically at it. First, I was like, "Aren't you used to this by now? How long have you lived here? You're not even from here." I'm from here. We became more San Francisco than man the entire time we were gone. And boy, Denny, we broke down Super Bowl 60 from every single angle. Thank you so much again to our guests. Man, they were all so right. Like I was trying to get every single guest to do Seahawks devil's advocate, and Drew Dinsig's like best I can do is that the Patriots might lose 23-3.
Drew said you bet 0 points for the.
He said for the first time ever he looked up the odds for a shutout.
And they had 0 points in the third quarter, and I was like, "Oh man, it's happening!" Of course, it didn't, but
I was rooting for the shutout really hard at that point, and so yeah, I was not. Was I wrong? I don't think I ever actually said the Patriots were going to win.
You were trying to get there.
I wanted to get there so bad, but I think I knew in my heart of hearts like they don't have a chance. Totally fraudulent team.
They didn't belong there. Obviously.
Well, okay, Kyle. Did the Patriots belong? No. All right, so you go, Denny. Just cook. Hold up, let him cook.
Look, I'm just saying they for once they weren't playing plumbers, and so they were playing a real team, and they got crushed. I mean, they're playing they play the Texans. Give me a break with that.
Stop it.
I mean, just starts naming playoff teams they beat.
Like Jarrett Stidham, you barely beat Jarrett Stidham. I mean, this team, the Patriots, probably not even a top 10 team in the league, and I don't know how they got there. Honestly,
I know how they got there. It's that Joe Burrow doesn't care about the playoffs. Lamar Jackson doesn't care about the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes finally tired of the playoffs. Josh Allen doesn't even want to be around anymore in the playoffs. That's how they got there. They're the only team that wanted to be there. And then my old canned line when a team gets exposed in the Super Bowl is to lose the Super Bowl, you have to make the Super Bowl. And so they got exposed, but they made the Super Bowl, Kyle Dvorchak. But were you surprised by this outcome? If you had been on the air with us in San Francisco, it would have been like, yeah, I mean, not really much point in talking about the game. Patriots have no chance. Were you surprised by just how thoroughly dominant the Seattle Seahawks were on Sunday evening?
No, I mean, I'm glad you guys didn't have me on because I would have been the most Patriots truther of you guys. I think the Seahawks were a better team. Like, I think they deserve to win. I would have said, just giving could I bet plus 100 both sides? Who would I take? Obviously, the Seahawks are a better team. I probably would have been, I would have been more Patriots pro than both of you guys. I easily would have been like, yeah, they're going to cover. They have a better shot to win than people think.
I kept saying they were going to cover, by the way. I did say that over and over and over again.
You did say that. But
I did literally bet that, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, I guess in that sense, you were wrong. You got the low scoring rock fight part of it all correct, though, which that was obviously, I think, very true. I'd say that the Seahawks offense didn't blow me away. It was a lot of hard running football where Sam Darnold wasn't asked to do much. He was pressured a lot, missed some big throws. Not that he played horribly, but
first half he was getting caved in. They were putting helmets in his chest cavity every other play, and he stood tall.
But no, I mean the Seahawks, especially for what the matchup ended up being. Oh, the Seahawks, who are a good, great defensive line, getting a lot of pressure on a quarterback who takes a lot of sacks under pressure. That turned into a quarterback taking a lot of sacks? No, I think this was, if the Patriots are going to get blown out, this was easily the most likely it was going to happen, is the same way the offenses played during the playoffs, which is Drake Maye taking a lot of sacks, just happens again. So I don't think it's surprising at all. Maybe the fact they really did get blown out. I mean, obviously, if you were to bet this, if you were a waiter at a hotel breakfast lobby in San Francisco, you were getting good odds on this. So it's not like this was the most likely outcome. But I do think that this was still a bit surprising how bad the beatdown was. But it's not surprising that the better team won.
Did at any point you feel like the Patriots could make a game of it? After the game started?
When the first half, when the Seattle's offense just kept stalling and stalling, I was like, if the Patriots hit one big play, they're 2 points away. But
Darnold wanted the big one bad. He wanted it bad. I'm talking about the big negative play, not the big positive play. He wanted it real bad, but to his credit, he stood tall and held on to the football. And he didn't uncork any really bad passes either.
Well, he missed JSN in the first half on a 50 or 60 yard touchdown. There was no safety over top, and he sailed it over JSN. But I mean, the Patriots never punished them for it. Yeah, early in the game, I thought this could be a low scoring Rams Patriots Super Bowl where you don't have to drop 20, 25 points to win because Seattle's offense was playing just okay and stalling a lot. I thought that would leave the Patriots in the game for a while. But the moment they stopped stalling out, the Patriots never ended up finding, late in the game when it was decided, they found the big play, but they never got there. So in the first half, I thought there was a chance that the Pats could still win a rock fight type game, even as it was slipping away. Early in the second half, though, you realized that no, it wasn't going to happen.
So, Denny, did the Patriots just fail to adjust, or there's not meaningful adjustments they can make where the entire left side of their line was just turnstiling? Will Campbell and the guard, the other, I forget his name, the rookie left guard, were just turnstiling. It was getting collapsed as soon as the play developed. But I saw someone post they sent in a sixth offensive lineman one time. They gained 21 yards rushing on that. There was never any sort of meaningful pivot to the run. I feel like I didn't see much play action. Were there adjustments they could have made, or is there just nothing they could have done on this night? And this is a 9 times out of 10 the Seahawks win this game kind of matchup.
They did not make adjustments. This was pointed out by both the analytics folks and the film watchers. Nate Tice, our buddy, posted on Blue Sky on Monday morning some good clips of how the Seahawks showed a blitz that they had not used all season. They basically blitzed from both sides of the line, and the Patriots were not ready for it and did not adjust. So the Seahawks kept doing it, and it actually led to the defensive touchdown for Seattle. So no, the adjustments weren't there. I think Vrabel played. I think he was a little tight. I think he was a little scared. Played a little scared. I think he kind of reverted to caveman tough guy mode. And when you're the coach of a team that's so overmatched in every way, you can't be doing that. You have to go all out. You have to introduce a lot of variance. He was not aggressive on fourth down. He punted on 4th and 1
punt
around midfield when they were down 12. He didn't go for 2 when he probably should have, although like the win.
Even that too, like Kyle and I've been debating this all, like very clear. You must go for 2 there. Like
if you can get Pat on your side on some of these, frankly not some, like a lot of these, Pat was like, yeah, be aggressive here, be aggressive here.
Yeah.
If you can get Pat on your side, you need to be taking the aggressive spots, which he did not. He did not.
No. He didn't. So the coaching was weird. Now I wanted when I looked into like the metrics for this game and the tendencies for the Patriots, I wanted to come out finding like they were just scared overall. But I didn't really find that. I have some stats here to share. So during the regular season, the Patriots were 3% over their expected pass rate, 1% over on first downs. Okay, so that's pretty good. In the Super Bowl, they were 8% over their expected pass rate and 6% over on first down. So I was expecting actually them to have been really conservative on first downs. It felt that way, but it was not. That was not the case. I just think it was a matter of being overmatched. We're going to talk about Drake Maye in a second, but the adjustments were not there, and I think Vrabel just had a really bad game as far as coaching goes.
Someone made a point to me before the game that I thought was an extremely good point, where I've been a big early Mike McDonald booster. Not to boost myself, I actually picked the Seahawks to make the playoffs this year. Not that out on a limb after they went 10-7 last year.
Back in August, it was Darnold, LOL.
Yeah. You know? So a big McDonald believer, obviously an elite young coach. But I had a friend make the point, like, if there's a coach who's going to get like outfoxed in this game, like outwitted, you would very much have expected it to be Mike McDonald, just because Mike Vrabel is also an elite head coach. He's just been around a lot longer. He's quite literally seen everything. And I agreed with him. Like, if there was a coach who was going to decisively lose his one-on-one matchup in this game with the other coach, I would have guessed it would be Mike McDonald. But I think kind of inarguable, Mike Vrabel decisively lost his one-on-one matchup with Mike McDonald. Not to ascribe too much importance to coaching or whatever. The players are out there playing and winning the game, but no one could argue that it was advantage McDonald from the opening whistle to basically the closing whistle. And I almost feel like they should have been more concerned. Like, I think the Patriots at some point, like, dude, we just need to try to run the ball, and then we need to set up play action.
They can't run. They don't have a good running game. They never have.
Denny,
they have 2 big play running. I don't know. They should
big play. Denny, I will note to your point about it feeling like they played more conservative than just like the pass rate over expected. If you take out garbage time, which is a lot of the game, that's kind of the point, is if you take out when they were like not really in contention, they had a negative 13% pass rate over expected on 1st and 10 specifically.
It did feel like that.
This is probably a very small sample, right? Because the game kind of quickly got out of hand. But if you look early in the game, they were running a lot on early downs. And
Kyle, that was probably, frankly, a concession to we're just going to get sacked if we pass here. I think they were desperately. This is always losing thinking. I think they were desperately trying to avoid we at least make it 2nd and 8 instead of 2nd and 13. But all that did was dig the hole even deeper.
Yeah. It's a logical way of thinking where like it makes sense what you're saying, right, but it results in you cannot mount any bit of an offense. Like there is reasons you can convince yourself to do it, even if it's the wrong thing to do, which I mean, clearly they had no offense in the first half, so it probably was the wrong thing to do.
So the question on everyone's mind. So like everyone's going like Denny, like most fraudulent team I've ever seen. Like they revoke the Lamar Hunt trophy for winning the AFC. Like take the AFC championship ring.
I mean,
take the ring. The most fraudulent team any of us have ever seen. Drake Maye, MVP runner-up, takes 21 sacks in 4 games, fumbles 7 times, loses 4 of them, a hail of interceptions. I really did think circumstance played a big part in the first 3 game struggles. 2 snowstorms, 3 elite defenses. And then 2, my worst take all week, last week, Denny, was I'm not even sure the Seahawks are the best defense the Patriots have faced during the Super Bowl run. I went back, I reread the primer I wrote for the playoffs. I should have listened to that guy. Like,
you should have.
Clearly have the best defense. I ranked the Seahawks number 1 in my playoff power rankings, by the way. I wanted it so badly to be a good game that I got like emotional almost, and we should know a classic error of analysis. But so did Drake Maye get exposed? Was it just all the schedule all along? Blah blah blah. Did Drake Maye get it? And none of us think he got exposed as a bad player, but
no.
Did he get exposed? Is this going to be like a really fluke MVP runner-up finish? And like we're not entering a new era nearly as much as we think. And the next year it's just going to be all about Mahomes, Lamar, Burrow bouncing back. Where are we at on Drake Maye after a wonderful regular season, not so wonderful playoffs?
I mean, he has a pressure to sack ratio problem, from what I'm understanding here. In the regular season, Drake Maye was sacked on 21% of his pressures. That was a top 10 rate. In the postseason, he was sacked on 46% of his pressures. Just for context, the league leader during the regular season was Geno Smith at 26%. His average time to throw was actually a little higher in the Super Bowl than it was in the regular season. Not sure how that's possible, but
I'm not sure. Who cares?
Anyway, I do think he made the most out of a really, really nice schedule, is what I'll say. And I want to say, for fantasy purposes, he's a total monster. He's a monster machine, some are saying. He scored 20 points last night on DraftKings. He had the worst game anyone's ever seen. He scored 20 points.
Who cares about anything else that happens? Just cash checking, baby.
That's all that matters.
Cash checking. Did he get exposed, Kyle? I mean, Drake Maye's like a son to you. So let us know how you feel about this.
To Denny's point, this is who he was during the regular season too. He's awesome from a clean pocket. He throws a great ball from under pressure. He led the postseason. He led all quarterbacks quite easily in yards per attempt when pressured. It was just that pressure to sack rate was even worse during the postseason because he faced better defenses and his offensive line played. Maybe like Will Campbell's maybe banged up. Like, God, I hope he was.
Our guy was mad adoring. Like, here you go, bro. Lifting up my cape or whatever.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
waving the red flag. Why would you do that? And he's running around and getting easily sacked. Then.
So maybe he wasn't healthy. Maybe he just got exposed. If anyone got exposed, definitely.
Hashtag short arms.
So short arms.
The past 24 hours, I've seen so much Will Campbell arm length debate. And wasn't he elite before the injury? This seemed like a classic case of a guy coming back from injury and playing hurt. Yeah.
So maybe he was just playing hurt, but whatever it ended up being is all of those issues that were real issues for Drake Maye during the regular season, but the lack of a difficult schedule and the lack of truly elite one after another defenses that he did see in the postseason made you not really notice them that much unless you were really digging into the data and seeing some of this stuff. And then those things went the exact opposite way. Like most postseasons, you don't play the first, second, third, and fourth best defense in the NFL, right? So those things, even in the postseason, you still would expect to play like the 12th best defense once instead of just,
where my Bills at?
Really, like where are these types of teams that make it to the postseason on the back of just an okay defense and a good offense? He just played all of the best defenses. So I would say he got exposed for something he already was. If you were even in the Drake Maye hive mind, you knew this was his sort of fatal flaw. It's very Joe Burrow-esque, and it's fitting that he took the postseason sacks taken record away from Joe Burrow that I assume Joe Burrow set during the Super Bowl run. I think that's the player he is right now, and taking the sacks away is how he makes the leap to Josh Allen. So exposed maybe more so in this, not like in a derogatory sense.
He did not get exposed.
Something that was already there.
Yeah. And maybe no one cares about this anymore, this word anymore, experience. Maybe he finally just got exposed. Experience mattered in this game. They were doing stuff he had never seen before. Yep. If you're around 5 or 6 years, you've seen pretty much everything at that point. And just maybe it was as simple as that. A young guy who finally met a situation that he didn't know how to handle, Denny.
Also, I mean, his receivers room is I don't even know what to say. Like Pop Douglas was his best receiver last night, like by far. Stefan Diggs is just out there getting exercise.
He's washed, yeah.
Oh my goodness, is he washed? Hey, honestly, they should have probably done the right thing and just kept him off the field last night. Like he's that bad.
Gonna immediately fact check you there. That would have made things even worse. But yeah,
he's not. No, I mean, you featuring Pop Douglas over Stefan Diggs made a lot of sense. I would say.
Live fact check. No,
he's better. He's faster. He gets open anyway. Matt Collins.
This is 7th in the NFL in yards per out runs. Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, Stephon Diggs was very efficient this year, actually. Okay.
All right.
Well, where's your God now? Where's your analytics God now?
He was great for fantasy, if I remember correctly. So Matt Collins, he's a fun guy, character, but come on. Kayshon Boutte is an air yards merchant. Hunter Henry, Pat was saying this the other day, and I thought about it last night. I may have said it last night to my brother-in-law. Has Hunter Henry ever made a play? He's never played a play. Not one single play ever in his life.
Once. No.
And last night he, I don't like to see this, but he's getting decked Like every single time every single time the ball goes to him and he just catches it and he just gets crushed.
That kill shot in the end zone was overkill, by the way. Like,
it was way too much.
They didn't have to do our guy like that.
And the defender would immediately regret it. He regretted it in the air.
I didn't actually notice that. That's
he was hurt.
So Denny, but everything is laid out. Everyone knows, quote unquote, the Patriots have to improve their skill core. Is that even realistic for 2026? Because now this is the downside of overachieving. This roster is revealed as not being ready to be like a truly elite roster. Now they have the number 31 overall pick.
Right.
Same thing happened to the Commanders last year. They end up at the 29th or 30th pick, probably the 29th. And just a team that needed better draft capital, really. Like, unless they trade for A.J. Brown, are there even realistic avenues to, like, immediately? Of course, the realistic avenues take a receiver round 1, round 2, blah, blah, blah. But they have other needs.
Yeah.
Like, can this skill core even get meaningfully better for 2026?
That'd be cool if they acquired A.J. Brown. I think that would be a really good fit for how Drake Maye plays.
It needs to happen.
Mike Evans is an unrestricted free agent.
And he's basically signaling he's leaving Tampa, which
I mean, come on, that thing's over. So here's some others: Christian Kirk, Deebo Samuel, Marquise Brown. Like, it gets thin quickly. So
we said get better. We didn't say get worse.
Yeah, my bad. I forgot the exercise we were doing here.
Wow. So it's going to remain a problem, and that left side of the line's maybe a problem. But when you're 14-3, like, it's better to have problems at 17-4, their final record for the season, than 14-3. All right, I guess it's time to take a short break. We're turning to have this. Still have more to talk about from Super Bowl LX. It's a Winter Olympics you will never forget. From beautiful northern Italy, experience the world's best athletes on the biggest stage. Tune into Primetime in Milan every night on NBC and streaming on Peacock. Taking in the quad god the other night. Guys nailing quads. It was in the team event. I don't know how he's going to do. I don't know when the men's individual is, but boy, the man. But you know about a stunning reveal, by the way. I managed to spoiler alert, keep it to myself. But so I was watching with my dad after the game, and the Lindsey Vonn run came on. And he was talking about, like, kind of like the inspiring story.
No.
So, well, you'll see what happens next.
Oh, your poor father.
Yeah, he was. I think he gasped. That was tough. But that's the Olympics. The height of what? Wide emotional swings in the Olympics.
Thrill of victory.
Yeah, thrill of victory, agony of defeat. There we go.
They're going 80 miles an hour down that hill, by the way.
Dude, they're going. The women go 80. The men are going 90. Like, that's insane. Everyone's going over 80 miles an hour.
Like, I would obviously die of injuries, but I would also die of fright. Yeah, that's scary.
No. The 90 mile an hour. I was like, does that say 90? Wow. Anyways, does that say what kind of free agency is Kenneth Walker looking at? Kyle Dvorchak, but talk about a guy. So it's like a very common motif. Like, a guy will not be good all year in baseball, and all of a sudden, like, so and so can't stop getting a hit in the biggest games of the year. Like, so and so has been unscored upon in 9 playoff relief appearances, and all of a sudden, every team wants them. Is that kind of a fair analog for Kenneth Walker, who, like, don't take, like, the haters' word for it. Take the Seahawks coaching staff word for it. They refused to make him the clear lead back. They were insistent all season long on making him a committee member. Then, when forced to turn him as the lead back, he was the very pro Kenneth Walker said. People said he was all along. Kind of a big play guy. He was really the only truly standout offensive player in Super Bowl 60. Like, he deserved that MVP. He was the only guy to make a consistently positive impact. So what kind of free agency is this guy looking at? And two, I guess the Seahawks will always say the reason we limited his workload is because we did not want him to get hurt. He gets hurt a lot. So there's still that hanging over it. Headed to free agency. Do you think he's back in Seattle? Do you think he ends up bolting?
I think he stays in Seattle. I mean, there's obviously a lot of mutual interest to keep him there. And if they pay him like he's as valuable as a workhorse, it's in his best interest too to get paid like that, but then to not be used as a workhorse. Other than the fact that I'm sure, like, football players are psychos. I'm sure he's like, yeah, I can handle 400 carries in a season. Like, they all think
doubt he believes that.
Yeah, of course, every running back believes that. But I think, like, if you're his agent, you're like, pay him like a workhorse and then give him 15 carries a game is the perfect setup. It just reduces the injury risk. But obviously, this is with the caveat that they pay him well. I would assume they will, right? They just won a Super Bowl. He was the engine of the offense for the entire postseason, essentially. Like, yeah, it was like one really good JSN game, but they didn't even need him in the final game.
JSN, by the way, second fewest yards of the season in Super Bowl.
That's so funny. Not his fault. They just didn't need it.
The Patriots defense like came to play. Like
True, yeah. I said not his fault they didn't need it, but frankly, Christian Gonzalez played an awesome game against him. Like the Christian Gonzalez cut-ups, if you're deep into the YouTube rabbit hole, it was going to be a good one. It was a good game from him. Like I said, they probably didn't need JSN. Pats couldn't get anything going. I will say that the numbers, they're like very mixed on Ken Walker, but I do think—
What a surprise.
Well, there's some really good numbers. PFF graded him as their number 3 running back just during the regular season too. So I didn't even look at— he also grades extremely well because the postseason was awesome. But even you just like throw out like, that's not a representative sample. I don't know why you would, but let's just give the haters credit. It doesn't count. Don't count postseason. He was still the 3rd highest rated running back per PFF. He was still one of the best running backs in breakaway rate, which is exactly what you'd expect from him. He also
exactly what you saw last night.
And you saw it on full display, I mean, throughout the playoffs, really. And so if you just look at those traits, and if you're a coaching staff, you were probably thinking, how do we get the most out of a player? And how do we not like care about the weaknesses? One of his weaknesses, he's not a good yards after contact player this year. He's not terrible, but he wasn't doing anything in terms of like breaking tackles, getting yards after contact, and then hitting the home run. He's in that Saquon Barkley mold primarily of like, you set a lane up for him and it's a good lane. He's one of the best running backs in that spot. And if you're a coaching staff, you are trying to maximize the skill set of that player. I don't want to say you don't care about his weaknesses, but they're not as important if he has really strong points. And he genuinely does. I do think he ultimately just stays in Seattle, but I could very much see another team around the league seeing his strengths as some of the best strengths at what they are among all running backs and paying him really well. I think my comp would be something like the Tony Pollard going to Tennessee to get a bunch of work on a team that has the money to spend. Should they be spending it on a running back? They didn't get anything out of Tony Pollard in terms of actual wins, but I could very much see him taking that kind of deal and that kind of setup. I do hope he stays in Seattle, though.
Yeah, Denny, well, usually players, they're always most valuable to their existing team. I think the Seahawks will make a meaningful effort to bring him back, especially after Zach Charbonnet tore his ACL. But Denny, the Tony Pollard comp feels very apt to me. And there's just also the reality— the best teams in football have been investing in running back again. Maybe it's a short-term fad. Maybe it's a correlation does not equal causation or whatever, but most of the best teams have something invested in running back. And we see the teams that haven't been, like the Chiefs are probably haunted by not having a real running game in the past. It could have bought them more time, given them a greater margin for error. So in that context, do you see someone Pollarding and prying Kenneth Walker away from Seattle unlike the Pollard situation where Dallas seemed to decide early on they're going to move on? I do think Seattle's going to try to keep Kenneth Walker, though.
Well, I mean, I do think it's a little bit like Pollard, but Ken Walker, it didn't like shatter his leg at any point. So like Pollard had, and I know that was a year and a half or 2 years removed, but he was still struggling.
5 years after it happened.
Yeah. I mean, he took a long time. So I don't know if it's exactly like that. I mean, I have a few thoughts. One thought is that it proved to be pretty much malpractice on the part of Kubiak and McDonald that they use Charbonnet so much.
I don't agree. You know why? I don't agree, because the thesis of the play was to keep Kenneth Walker healthy.
No, it wasn't.
It was. That literally was the thesis of the play.
It was just to have the big boy doing big boy things, and to get the offensive line excited and like bullying through guys, and he was a good goal line guy. So I'm not saying
you're curious. I thought scoring touchdowns was the point.
And so you use him at the goal line. That's fine. We wouldn't like that for fantasy if you have Walker, but like this run game's EPA and success rate went through the dang roof when Charbonnet went down. And that's curious to me.
I guess when it would collapse is when Kenneth Walker handles 20 carries the first 4 games of the year, then gets injured in week 5.
Oh, these are all scenarios that people just throw out. Look,
what do you call it when you make a point that can't be disproven? What do you call that?
Counterfactual,
like unfalsifiable.
Unfalsifiable, not unfalsifiable claim.
No, I mean, if you just you look at the metrics now, Kyle's right in that Some of the Walker metrics are a little suspect. I think, that's because he takes.
It's not a Sterling.
You can watch Kenneth Walker play. I'm like, all right, this guy is.
He was doing the Le'Veon Bell thing last night, which
Collinsworth was highlighting that. I was like, I don't know if I ever really realized how patient he was, and this would definitely explain why he's so constantly taking 5-yard losses.
That's new. No, this Le'Veon Bell thing where he just kind of stands behind this line and waits for something to open up.
I was hoping that was new because I was like, how did I miss this?
No, Pat, that's new. Usually it's just there's the back of my left guard. I'm going to go right into him, right? And that's what he does.
Miles Sanders.
So here's my thought, and I could be completely off base, and maybe the film bros might just crush me for this one, but I'm going to say this. Because he knew that he was going to see 20 to 25 touches in that game, he didn't feel like he had to make the absolute most out of every touch.
Well.
Amazing.
Everyone now admits that the rhythm backs exist.
Rhythm back. I thought of that, Pat. I thought of that because instead of being like, I have to zoom right into the line and like break through and get my 80-yarder, right? He was like, I'm gonna bounce around back here, and boom, I got 5 yards. Boom, I got 7 yards. Like he was able to do that because he was like, oh, they're not gonna bring in Zach Charbonnet to take a carry on 2nd and 9 for whatever reason.
We're slowly bringing real football back. You absolutely love to see it. Actually, you hate to see it, but
and congrats on Ken Walker for making a lot of money for himself, because not only did he explode at the right time when everybody's watching, he also exploded statistically in a new era of football, like you said, where it's like everybody is going to try to be a defensive-minded, run-first team. And now, I don't think he's going to stay in Seattle because I think somebody's going to offer him pretty much whatever he wants.
Also, this is true for all 32 teams, so it becomes relative, but the cap is exploding. So it could be a year where we actually see some people get overpaid. I'm a poster. No one's as big of a poster as Denny, but I'm a born poster. So this morning, for some reason, I started thinking this haunting first take level question. It's totally pointless debate, but I was literally sitting in bed, and this first take prompt appeared to me. I guess I see Denny smiling, so we'll throw to Denny first. Who is better, Sam Darnold or Brock Purdy? We haven't talked about Sam Darnold yet. The story of the year, maybe in the NFL. And I feel like it's like so agonizing and close. I posted a poll.
It's close.
Twitter.com, and it's like 50-50. Who is better, Sam Darnold or Brock Purdy?
The spreadsheets say it's definitely Purdy.
Oh my God. Watch a game, spreadsheets.
I know. And I would say it's Purdy.
What do you say, Kyle?
Pretty close.
Me too. And I think normally for a lot of quarterbacks, I would look at how they perform when not pressured, because that's more stable. And you want to look at things that are essentially sticky, right? Like that's something that you can say is going to carry over better year over year, how you play when the play is set up well to let you do what you can do. And they're both awesome. But in this is one scenario, and maybe I'm just like tricking myself into doing something dumb. In this specific scenario, I do feel like we care a lot about how they play when they're not in the cozy confines of the scheme, which I'm just going to say for this purpose right here is when they're not pressured. When you get to set up your play well, like of course these guys are going to do well. They've done it throughout the past few years. Like obviously Purdy did the moment he came into the NFL. In the past 2 years, we've seen that Darnold is more than capable of executing the really good schemes at a really high level. I do think the differentiator, even if it is noisy, the differentiator when you're playing in these systems is how you play when pressured, like how you play, even though it might not be as sticky, how you play when things break down. I don't want to say everyone can do a great Kevin O'Connell offense or a great Kyle Shanahan offense, a great Clint Kubiak offense, but like a lot of people can do that kind of offense very well. Some of them can do it extremely well. Darnold and Purdy are two of these guys. Not everyone can handle these types of offenses when you don't actually get to play in the offense. This was the Jimmy Garoppolo problem, right? Is Jimmy Garoppolo did make the spreadsheets go burr.
The Jimmy G paradox.
It's the Jimmy G paradox. And then, of course, when the play broke down, he just doesn't have that next gear to do things when the play breaks down. And Purdy, at least this year, was way better than Darnold in terms of how he played when under pressure. He was PFF's number 3 graded overall player when pressured this year. He had a really strong season in that metric, and it's not like Darnold was actually really bad when pressured. He wasn't great, but he wasn't a catastrophe. But that difference, even if it's not like super sticky, right? That difference of Darnold having, or of Purdy having that X factor adjacent type of play, where in the past year, probably past 2 years, I'd say, he really does play well when things break down. I'll side with Purdy for that reason.
I think you do kind of have to side with Purdy for that. And by the way, the Jimmy G, when he was pressured, he would like start digging a hole. But I'm gonna see if I can get to China. Like, see if you can actually do that or not. And
yeah, that guy just folded.
It's just, honestly, we talked about this at the time. Looking back, it's one of the more embarrassing eras of NFL football, the Jimmy G era. Like, it was a bit like, Shanny, listen, whatever. It's cool you can do this, but like, come on, you gotta set your standards a little higher.
Yes.
Like, you need to set your standards. I do think Purdy versus Darnold is the classic. Like, you wish you could do the graphic. Has the mind of Patrick Mahomes, has the arm of Josh Allen. You wish that Brock Purdy could have Sam Darnold's arm talent.
Yes,
But he does not. He just doesn't. And Purdy, it doesn't just create better on the run when the play breaks down than Jimmy G or Sam Darnold. He creates better than like most of the league when the play breaks down.
Yeah,
that really is the differentiator for Brock Purdy, where I do think I have to lean Brock Purdy. By the way, on Darnold, QB wins, not a thing, of course, blah, blah, blah. Maybe we should have looked at it a little more powerfully, though. When I posted this, it's going viral. Sam Darnold went 7-6 one year with Adam Gase as his quarterback. He went 4-2 for interim coach Steve Wilks for the Panthers. Steve Wilks has literally never had success anywhere.
He's been fired after every single season he's ever coached.
It's actually insane. Like, no offense to our guy Steve, but I don't know what's going on there. Darnold went 4-2 for Steve Wilks, and I posted this, and I had a Jets fan reply. He was like, "It had to happen. Like, he didn't work in New York. He wasn't good." He said, "I have no regrets." And I kind of like, I feel like you should have a little regret.
You should have a lot of regret.
You have a lot of regrets.
A lot of regret.
Think of one, maybe two.
Yeah,
I mean,
several regrets.
Look. Here's how we should have looked at it at the end of last year, right? He had 2 bad games. It happened. It happens, man. Like, the fact that the Vikings booted that guy after those 2 bad games, and now their front office got massacred because of it. The wake of destruction that Sam Darnold left with the Vikings is going to last generations. I mean,
we do this every year with so many different things. Like, injury prone is one of them. Where like, guy suffered injuries in back-to-back years, and we wipe him off our boards. I mean, it was McCaffrey this year. It was like obviously like miserable injury experience in 2024, the worst. But like, one injury sometimes just saps your season away in the most painful variety, and he's still got the best fantasy ceiling of anyone ever, and he never even sniffed the 101. He started in the second round of drafts last year and made it to like 104, 105. Like, injury prone, while maybe real, is so indecipherable to us because the sample sizes are so small that it's not worth bothering. And I don't think that like playing bad in big spots, again, is completely random. I'm sure some players are more prone to playing
Jimmy G.
Well, he also just played bad in other games too.
That's true.
But I don't think it was like, maybe it was, particularly bad.
It wasn't every week thing for Jimmy G.
Yeah, not that it was every week, but it was like sometimes he just sucks in week 2 and sometimes in the Super Bowl, and they're all the same to him. Whereas Darnold, it truly was last year, was the 2 biggest spots of the entire season. Played really bad football, and it's a 2-game sample out of a sample of 18 games because he played in the playoffs. And they're just
only played 1 playoff game because immediately choked as worse as any player ever has.
Yeah, it's ugly.
And the choke, though, could have happened. I mean, I think this season's clear evidence of that. Choke could have happened in week 2.
Yep.
Could have happened in week 7.
That is the real
back-to-back games to end the year, and that's just the one that we drew, and then we assumed that he was a choker for the rest of his career, and it turns out he's pretty good.
Real quick, just on Darnold, to finish up on Darnold, if you don't mind.
We're going to finish up the show in a minute, by the way, just to tell you that.
Okay.
We're going to say we're punting Kubiak to Thursday. I'm just letting you guys know.
Okay. There's a metric that some folks don't like because their favorite quarterback is not included in the top of this metric. But it's EPA per dropback plus completion rate over expected. Okay. And it's like, supposed to really just be like a zoomed out view of how a quarterback's performing. Now, over the past 2 seasons combined, Sam Darnold, this is including the apocalyptic meltdowns, Sam Darnold's top 8 among quarterbacks in that metric, right? He's right there with, Patrick Mahomes, for instance. And
I'm told it's not even good. So is that even good?
I don't mid homes. That's what they call them on the streets. I in San Francisco. That's what they were saying. I said that's rude. You shouldn't say that. But yeah. So I think that's the view we should have. Like, oh, like this guy is probably a top 10-ish NFL quarterback. And
what is he? What is he?
He's top 10.
No, come on.
Who would you?
I would say
prisoner of the moment. Listen, 31 wins in 2 years. I don't care at all.
Yeah, no one cares. This guy can do it forever. He just
who would you rather have at starting quarterback in 2026? Sam Darnold or Drake Maye?
Drake Maye.
Maye.
So you're already gonna have trouble getting this guy in the top 10. I hate to break it to you. Sam Darnold or the dreaded T-Law?
Darnold.
Darnold.
I'm gonna go T-Law. I don't know why.
You fully jumped ship on the hater there.
Yeah, actually, I'll go Darnold. Sam Darnold or the dreaded Justin Herbert.
Darnold.
Yeah, Darnold he's like if Herbert were good. He actually makes big plays occasionally. He still makes plenty of negative plays. Like that Rams game, the second Rams game in the regular season, it was kind of here we go again with Darnold. Unlike Justin Herbert, instead of taking 7 more sacks, he actually rallied. He even rallied the first disaster Rams game and almost brought them back. Herbert ever a comeback that was successful?
This conversation started with how these like blow up spots for Darnold were random to some degree, and then we got to like, but for Herbert, they're real.
That's 100% right. Sam Darnold or Jaden Daniels for 2026?
Ooh,
would you rather have?
That hurts. I'm gonna go Jaden, but like I understand that I could be in week 2. I'm like, oh, I was wrong. Ooh, wrong big time.
Darnold is so tough, by the way. Like he never leaves games.
And I feel like the NFL values drop back guys who can just do what the coaches need them to do, and Darnold is that guy.
So that brings us maybe to the final one. Let's get Sam Darnold or Sam Darnold Goff.
Darnold.
I feel like Goff is what Darnold is still striving for.
Well, Jared Goff has tricked the spreadsheet so thoroughly.
Yeah, Darnold, when you watch in real time, you do see Darnold do things Goff just can't do. Even though Goff, on a play-to-play basis, probably makes the EPA machine a little happier.
He does.
You do see in real time, Darnold, like, oh, Goff could never do that.
Like, that's a real scam. The Lions.
I didn't get you guys on record. Were you both Darnold over Jaden Daniels?
Yes, purely because of I think the durability concerns with Daniels are real.
Yes,
because that was my biggest concern coming into the NFL, and 4 discrete injuries as a sophomore. I don't know if there's any final good ones there.
Jordan Love.
Wow, that's a good one.
Wow.
I guess I'll just go Darnold. I do like Jordan Love has some of these throws where like
they're similar. They're very similar, actually. Where
you see the Jordan Love throw and you're like, Goff couldn't do that. I don't care what the spreadsheets say. Goff couldn't do that for some Jordan Love throws, but we just said that for Sam Darnold, and he just took that archetype farther. It just happened last night.
It did. I think Love is probably a slightly more fully realized version of Darnold, but
that's a good point. Yeah.
Final quote. We already what did we get wrong about Super Bowl 60? Any final thoughts on this?
I thought Hunter Henry would be more involved.
Did Matthew Berry? Did he take you up on your? I think he did. What was your bet that you said?
Well, I said over on Henry's receptions. I saw that Matthew did a segment on over Matt Collins something receiving yards, I believe.
Hell yeah.
And so that worked out.
I was hoping you didn't lead him astray on Hunter Henry.
Good call by Matthew. Our guys, Matthew and Jay, on the Super Bowl broadcast.
That was insane.
For everybody to see it. It was awesome. I was like,
telling my family, I was just riding in a Waymo at that guy.
I know.
We went to hell and back. We stared death in the face.
I was like, I talked 90s movies with that guy just 2 days ago. Talking about Jay.
This is not a joke. I had my whole family huddle around the television for one of Matthew's segments. I'm like, I know that guy. So my job is real.
Yeah, I won his guillotine league.
Yeah, no big deal. Yeah. I know that guy on the TV. His name's Matthew Berry. His name is Jay Croucher. The name of this company is NBC. We're very proud to work for it. We're very sad that the Super Bowl's over. Also relieved. I mean, I like the offseason. I like baseball. So I have that coping mechanism. Also, it doesn't mean my child is getting closer. My 40th kid.
Yes, we're
by the way, I'm really regretting. I told my wife in November, like, if the Seahawks if the Seahawks won the Super Bowl, we'll name the kid Sam. Like, come on.
Get ready to learn Sam, buddy.
We're gonna name it JSN, actually.
Even though
just the letters, like you're not gonna do like Jack.
you know, it's crazy. It's just real. The fact that the Seahawks didn't even need JSN against the Patriots.
That was scary.
That's crazy.
That's what made me think too. Like, this was a 9 out of 10 result, not like a 6 out of 10, a 5 out of 10 result.
Yeah.
Like, they win this game with 27 yards from JSN, who, by the way, like, clearly gamed a concussion evaluation.
Oh, that was ugly.
Yeah.
Actually, he seemed very cogent and fine afterwards. So maybe.
But they went to the locker room, man.
That might have been more about his foot, I'll say.
Oh, the locker room was for his foot. Okay.
I think maybe that was more about his foot, actually.
That'll do it for the Seahawks spokesperson we've had on for this show.
I shouldn't. Well, I was kind of reckless what I said, so that's why I immediately tried to walk it back. So I had to immediately walk that one back because it was
we'll edit it out.
A very reckless sweeping statement. So, yeah, hopefully plenty of those this offseason. It is now the offseason. And we came on Monday, by the way. We're going to stick with the Tuesday, Thursday cadence. I'm going to be out of town Tuesday, so we went today. Also helps to go one day after the game. But we'll be back on Thursday. We'll be back all off season long. Combine coming, free agency in less than a month, then the draft. There's going to be so much fun stuff to talk about. We really hope, though, that you enjoyed the 25-26 season. Really hope you enjoyed us out in San Francisco. Thanks again so much to all the crew. Thank you to Mr. Kyle Dvorchak. I'm for Denny Carter. I'm Patrick Daugherty. We'll be back on Thursday.